Hi everybody, welcome to Reality Buzz TV, where we talk about all things reality TV shows and all things reality TV show stars. So you guys, on earlier, on a, sitting is on an earlier video. Ngiyabona lento yini ukuthi nifune ukuthi ngikhulume isingisi on videos. On an earlier video that I posted, yomuntu Nesthembu, someone had asked ukuthi ubani umfazi wephepha onothando Nesthembu, meaning which one of the wives is having a marriage certificate, umfazi wephepha. The concept of umfazi wephepha really for most of us comes from kwa which is when the concept of the MaCele Mseleku was introduced to us when we were watching that drama of kwa and it made us to have this impression that essentially there can only be one wife that can have a marriage certificate, because only one marriage under Mseleku can be a legal union. Only one wife can be legally married to a husband, which is not really true right now in South Africa, because you can actually have more than one marriage certificate in the union of Mseleku. There was an episode, I can't remember which season, but I can find it if you guys need evidence, because you guys know that I'm good at finding my evidence, okay? But there was an episode where MaCele clarified this whole thing. And this was back when MaCele was trying to explain to us that, listen, you guys, I know that there's somebody out there that is saying that I knew that Mseleku was a man that wanted Mseleku when I married him, but I didn't know that Mseleku wanted Mseleku. And this is the evidence that I didn't know. When we got married under the civil union, okay? And when he started talking about wanting Mseleku, and me getting to a point when I agreed that I was allowing him to take his temple, I actually had to go to Home Affairs and change the type of marriage that we were married under. So she actually had to go to Home Affairs. In fact, they were supposed to both go to Home Affairs and change their union from the civil union to the customary marriage, so that Mseleku can be allowed to legally take other wives or more wives, okay, legally so. And remember that story, because our coward husband went and dropped off MaCele at Home Affairs and ran off. Even him, he admitted that he was such a coward that day that he just dropped off MaCele to deal with that situation, and he ran off, and MaCele was left to deal with the situation of changing the documentation of their marriage. I don't know how Home Affairs allows one spouse to sign off on changing the marriage from one type of a union to another without the other one, but apparently MaCele had to do it alone because our coward husband was there. I guess he was about to I don't know, cry or something, because we know one thing Mseleku can do is cry. He might not be able to pay his hospital bill, honey, but one thing he can do is cry. Okay, so I guess even at Home Affairs they were like, you know what, we will allow you to do it alone, because we have the queue is too long here for us to be watching this man cry. So MaCele, just sign these documents alone. We'll see. Fake his signature or something, because we have no time for a man that is going to cry here at Home Affairs. Okay, we are about to go offline. So that is how MaCele had explained it. If she did not change her union from the civil one to the customary union, I guess Mseleku could still take the other wives, but they would not be able to get their marriage certificate legally. So they could still maybe traditionally get married, but legally their marriages could not be recognized because MaCele can would be able to hold. Then in that way, MaCele would be umfazi wephepha, like they say, like that one of wakhala nyonini, then MaCele would be umfazi wephepha. But MaCele is not umfazi wephepha because she told us that she changed her marriage to the customary one. If you have gone to Home Affairs to apply for a marriage certificate, you would know that they will sit you down. There is a lady there, okay? In my instance, it was a lady, okay? They would ask you, okay, so which marriage do you want to apply for, the civil or the customary, okay? And I remember I was sitting somewhere, like there are chairs there, and then my husband went and sat next to the lady, and he was filling in a form. So they asked him a question, and he said, the civil union. And then the lady said, call your wife to confirm. And then I asked the lady, so you don't believe him? That he said the civil union. I said to the lady, so you think that I might come and say customary? Of course, I'm going to say the civil union, honey, because I want to know number 2 and no number 3, And this woman was like, you won't believe how many women come here and change, the union from. We actually get more women coming in here to change from civil to customary. So to us, we have an experience of actually more women wanting customary than, husbands. So I need to check, before I fill in this form, I need to check, do you want or do you want to leave it open for your husband to? I'm like, honey, close the gates, okay? Put the padlock. How much big sizes do you have? Okay, the biggest size that you can get of a padlock, lock that shit. Okay, lock it. Excuse my language, okay? But I wanted it to be locked, okay? But the lady said, okay, most women don't want it locked, okay? Yes. So if you marry under customary, my understanding is that you are leaving the gates open. I guess, if you are somebody that, is very secured and you're like, I want to leave the gates open, I can trust my husband that he's not going to use the gates, you can do that, okay? So I believe that all of the wives, Mseleku, do have a marriage certificate because MaCele went and did that selfless act of opening her marriage. Now, this is the thing though. MaCele always says, Angishadanga nendoda yomuntu mina, when she wants to be selfish with her man and she does not want to share her man. That statement actually doesn't make a lot of sense because if ungashadanga nendoda yomuntu, but you decided to share your man because you are the one that woke up in the morning like this. I'm going to Home Affairs today. Musa asambeni. I figure Home Affairs will sign amadokument. Home Affairs, sign, initial, and you changed it. You opened your marriage for the other women to come. So kahle. Even though you didn't marry another woman's husband, but you decided to give your husband to other women. So that statement that says, Angishadanga nendoda yomuntu, we must not really take seriously because awushadanga nendoda yomuntu, but you gave your daughter to the muntu to shada. So you must not be telling us what you are not willing to share the daughter because the daughter you have opened the gates. You see the gates that I told the Home Affairs lady to put the biggest padlock. If I told that lady to open the padlock and the gates, then I can say that Angishadanga nendoda yomuntu, because I shadowed my own daughter, but I also opened the gate for the daughter to go out and find other muntus to marry too. You understand? Yes. So there is no mfazwe paper in the polygamy yakamseleku. Every single one of them babafazi bamaphepha bonke. And I guess if they go through a divorce, they will go through divorces. Like, it will be real divorces. Now, I don't know how it works, you guys, because if all of them are married in community of property, then that's the part that I really would like to hear from people that legally have dealt with isihlukaniso sabantu who are married in community of property, esithenjini customary marriage. But how does that work when they are married in community of property? Okay, when must be divided up 50%, but what about the 50%? Because there's other wife, then there's kids and others. I would like to know how that works. Okay, you understand what I'm talking about, okay? Because it will be complicated a little bit. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Another thing, you guys, that has been mentioned as far as ukushadela kaMseleku is concerned is that Uma Khumalo had mentioned ukuthi previously the way that they do it kaMseleku, and guys, they need to stop with this thing of traditional. And I like it when Uma Khumalo is talking about the marriage of kaMseleku, because Uma Khumalo always says, kaMseleku, this is how we have done things. Whereas Mseleku will say, traditionally, we follow tradition. I'm like, what tradition? There's no tradition. There's no such. Okay, you just follow them, the Coco flow rules. Okay, there's no such tradition. So Uma Khumalo always talks about it like, I'm telling you, this is how we have done things, and I think that's the way really they should refer to it, because it's created a tradition. So Uma Khumalo, and I think this is this season when Uma Khumalo said they would Mseleku would go ayocela. And then he would go ayocela, and then would go ayolobola, which is, I guess, and then they would go, the wife would hambisa umbondo, and then the wife will not go back home. You know, how hambisa umbondo uyasala is umakoti for like a week or so, kotisa, and then go back home. Uma Khumalo said, you would go uyahambisa umbondo bese uyahlala. Which is what Umayeni was referring to, ukuthi mina ngishada indoda ekepitile, because ushade yena Uma Khumalo esewuhambisile umbondo. She did not know ukuthi Uma Khumalo esewuhambisile umbondo, because Uma Khumalo had hambisade the mbondo and remained kaMseleku and kepitat kaMseleku. So traditionally, the tradition yakamseleku, they would do that. Mseleku would go ayocela alobole, whatever that means for the family yakamseleku, and then after that umakoti ahambisa umbondo bese yahlala. That's why we found that after some time fanele kuyombeso, and then we're like, how kanti futhi labantu the MaCele Mseleku kanti akakambeso. That's the reason, because after umbondo they would just stay. Then Mseleku naye he would relax, because I mean useyihlalele namakhosikazi akhe, why should he worry? I think that the person that had the advantage honestly was Umayeni, because I think that her family was strict. Remember, at first they did not even feel in the Bayestem, they did not even like in the Bayestem. So I think that they were not for the idea of her going without everything being completed. That's why that she is one of the two people that had umshado wabo done, even kunane white dress photos and all of that, because the parents, this is me just story together. It looks to me like the parents were not willing to let her go ayokebita after umbondo. So they wanted everything completed before ayohlala kaMseleku. So that's the advantage she had, because it sounds like her parents were strict. So that's why she got married. Remember, they were talking about her wedding, the white dress, so she had a big wedding. So she didn't do the thing yombondo and then akepite after. No. She did the whole wedding, and then was hamba yohlala. And then Uma Khumalo, it was umbondo wayohlala, and then Uma Ngwabi, it was umbondo wayohlala. So that thing actually teaches us a lesson, which I guess it's an advantage for parents to be strict, because then a man will do what he's supposed to do. Because if he's strict, then he's not gonna relax. Because if your parents are strict, then your man won't relax. Because the reason he's been relaxed with Umakumala and Mangwabe is because I guess the parents were like, I mean, it's okay, you can go stay with him. And then he's like, you understand. But anyway, you guys, listen, let's meet in the comment section. But the point of this video was that everybody, you are inkosikazi Pepper, you are umfazi Pepper, you are umfazi Pepper, you are umfazi Pepper. Everybody is umfazi Pepper. So as far as the home affairs is concerned, nobody has an advantage. Everybody has a paper. But what does a paper do when a man can't pay his own medical bill? When a man don't have no medical aid. Asazi ke lapho guys, asazi sizohlangana kulo. Yebo kodwa phela mhlawumbe iyasiza iphepha ngoba lapho uzosala ke naleya nyoka le ababilisho lapha. Allegedly you can inherit a nyoka. Ngisho le ababesho lapha yana allegedly.